right, ants. Everyone invited to picnic, even enemies.
Minions have spawned.
Just minding my own business, not being Nico. No one expects Nico to not be Nico and to be not Nico instead. Nico is not going to be here. His spirits are all around me. Warm, like hugs. Brightening finger.
First blood.
Slow down. No. Fast. Nico is on her fourth day-o. This is very exciting. Everything is falling down. Italy! Over! Survival means blinking lights. Vagabundo! Sharing memories, colors, feelings is magic. Magic connects. The Uvicat are gone. Nico is her own tribe now. Nico, no one suspects you are Nico.
has been slain.
Rayama! Do not be bound to a single body. There are so many more. People might have a thing for birds. And bird people. Nico knows your Soma. Nico knows you. People say the world is Nico's oyster. Is oyster a good thing? Tastes like grapes. Battle time!
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
No more room for problems, please. Only room for more different. Nico's joyful.
Double kill.
Wait on. I will. Nico. Where's the shark?
An enemy has been slain.
Shoma is like the shape of someone's spirit, who they really are inside.
An enemy has been slain.
People with no tails. Pretty rare.
Rampage.
What's the game now? Find some bread? Ooh, have picnic! Nico keeps a tiny piece of everybody's Shoma. They are
An enemy has been slain. Double kill.
You are not secretly Nico, are you? If Nico becomes Nico, what does she look like? Nico is everywhere.
Unstoppable. Has destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain.
Who can be everyone? How can people be worse than anyone?
Turret plating will fall soon.
Changing bodies is like changing minds. Easy. Nico can do it. Everyone else make it difficult. Fight ants. Everyone invited to picnic. Even enemies. Wish I could stay like this forever.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Nico does not want to be here when the others arrive. Nico casts magic on you! Shoom, shoom! Is Nico far? Is Nico near? No one knows.
Dominating. Double kill. A summoner has disconnected.
的时候，你自信心非常满，爆棚。这个左边这个纵坐标代表自信心，从低到高；横坐标从左往右是知识技能。当你不知道自己不知道，这是非常恐怖的一件事情。达克效应就是说你在自己不擅长的领域，你很难做出一个自己合理的一个判断，很难做出合理的判断，它是一种认知的偏差。所以呢，就是有一个常见的表现是什么？就是我做不好这件事情，就是这个工具不行。这其实是一种认知偏差。然后呢，就容易陷入两个学习误区。一个是盲人摸象，比如说你上来写代码就一把说，然后就开始和编译器的一种搏斗、一种斗争，结果你就在斗争中直接就陷入到这个语言的细节里面去了，你都没有看到它的全部，你就在和编译器做斗争，所以这个叫盲人摸象， 还有那个，你可能因为你自己不知道自己不知道，所以你觉得哎呀怀疑人生有点，这个可能是不是我学不会这个语言？我当时可能也有这种想法，然后这是妄自菲薄，其实你是可以的，这就两个学习误区。当你到达这个自信心开始下落的时候，它就会进入一个绝望的低谷，你会发现啊，原来你会逐渐的意识到自己可能是不知道这些东西，但是有的人呢就放弃了，觉得自己可能不想学，他可能有意识去弥补自己这个知识空白，因为你理解，当你理解不了一个东西的时候，其实跟智商没有多大的关系，主要是因为你的知识体系出现了断层，知识脉络出现了空白，你需要去补那个基础，但是有的人放弃，有的人可能沉下心来调整一下学习策略，他就开始把那个基础知识补上去了，然后才能到达那个平稳上升那个区间，这是很多人刚开始他不了解的情况。最后你能分清楚自己知道什么不知道什么，你去改善自己不知道的情况，然后你才能到达平稳上升这个区间。但实际上你在第3个阶段还有一个可能就是叫乱花渐欲迷人眼，就是你觉得这个 Rust 的概念很多吗？就是我看好多人说 Rust 概念多呀，但是你真的想一下，那是概念吗？那不是概念，那个是 Rust 的表现，那是特征。当你沉下心来，你去想一下这些特征里面有哪些共性，就像这个图一样，你有哪些共性，你可以从整体上去把握啊，这是猫科动物，然后你再去从细节上探究它。所以，如果说刚开始 Rust 让我最喜欢的原因是它因为它的特性，安全、变法、高性能、抽象语言表达能力强。但是我现在让我喜欢 Rust 的，就是因为我看到了更好的世界，我了解到我自己更好的，就是可以看到一个更好的自己。当你学习 Rust 的时候，感觉这个 Rust 难，其实是一件好事。它让你发现你自己的短板，就是让你帮助你成长。所以，接下来我给大家带来一个就是高效的一个学习模型，高效学习模型。提到高效呢，实际上是一种优化，就像你优化程序一样，其实就是一个基本的原则，找到分清楚不变的和改变的，然后尽可能去改变可以改变的。其实学习也是一样，就是你需要优化你的学习。学习过程中哪些是不能改变的？就是你大脑结构肯定不能改变，大脑的认知，这是从那个认知科学里面拿出来的模型，也是经过我实践过，它应该比较有效的。就是当你学一个东西，实际上需要2个阶段。你刚开始输入的时候，看书学习，你可能当时觉得自己会了，但是你没有一个输出的过程，你没有建立一个知识的关联，你很快就会忘记。所以你需要，如果说输入是识别信息的话，输出就是整理信息。你需要2个过程结合，你才能完成一个长时的记忆。就是说，高效学习是什么？你在单位的，你就可以降低这个信息的损耗，把它变成长期的结构，跟那个已知的知识联系关联起来。然后你通过有效的去制定学习的内容，你就可以增加自己单位时间的学习的质量，扩大这个信息量，而不是一而再的再重复去学习，重复可能效率不是很高。所以呢，围绕这个模型，我给大家提了10条建议。类型系统、内存管理，它是有所有权，帮助大家。你就是个马路上长流分享到实际。
说一下我的感受吧。看您这 talk 里面经常说的一些，OK 对。
我其实时间管理也没有什么特殊的，因为我现在算是自主的一个工作，就是分解就是重要的，哪些重要的，哪些是不重要的，就是每天，因为你可能想做的事情很多，但是你必须挑重要的去做。
Hello everyone. Okay, that's a lot of people, and anyway, over the past 4 years, and there's at some point in their stage of lifetime, the goal is not to eliminate this problem and write error-free code. Instead, the goal is to understand what those errors mean and how we can get around those errors, just like how we deal with every other compiler. Present to you my story. Before I begin, there's one other thing I want to say. It's a disclaimer that I will be using some languages, I guess. It's a list of integers, totally normal. But if you do the same thing in Rust, this is perfectly normal, right? You're just declaring a variable and you're printing the contents. But if you try to compile it, the bot won't allow you to. And that kind of stopped me when I tried Rust for the first time. So I began size, you only can push and pop, and I figured out that everything is an object in Python. Everything. That means the A and B, both the variables, are pointing to the same list. And whereas in Swift, it's not the same object. It uses something called copy on write. So when you change B gets a new copy of that list. So the change is reflected in B, not in A. If you have used Rust before, then you would be familiar with names. And this means you only have one or the other way. One way you go for references like Python, or the other way you copy everything like Swift. But references is a bad idea. We know that through C, C++. So we are left with copying. But doing that all the time is also bad, is equally bad. So now we have
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to start at this time. Welcome to the first session. And please welcome Ruben Berner, in case we'll be presenting Graphical Decorators.
Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to PyCon. Pretty exciting stuff. So, my name's Ruben, and I have a fantastic job, and I help people get better at Python. I do that a few different ways. I have a newsletter that about 10,000 people every week. I do corporate Python training. I go on site all around the world. I have a service called Weekly Python Exercise. So basically, if I want to decorate a function, I say at myDeco, and then I'm going to say def add of a and b, return a plus b. Pretty reasonable, and this is the standard syntax we use for decorators in Python. But when you see this on the left, you really need to be thinking something different. You need to be thinking, first, I'm defining my function. Now, what does def do in Python? It actually does two different things. It creates a function object, and it also assigns that object to the variable add, to the identifier add. So you always need to be thinking that there's two different things. Well, right after I define my function, that at myDeco on the left does something really kind of wild. It then does a reassignment. It says, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to call myDeco with an argument of add, and we're going to assign the result back to the variable add. A little switcheroo there. This means that we could, if we really want to, write it like on the right, but that would be really annoying because then I have to write the word add 3 different times. And no one wants to do that. That's just super annoying. If you mess it up even once, bad news. So while the left-hand side has perhaps more magic in it, and it's less explicit as to what's going on, it saves us time, it saves us energy, and it saves us having to perhaps make those mistakes. The thing is, when we do this, we have 3 callables in this code. This seemingly simple code has 3 different callables. Now what are callables? Callables, fancy Python speak, for something you can execute. If you've ever tried to say like 5 parentheses in Python, what happens? There's no compiler to tell you, hey, you can't execute 5, you can't execute integers. Instead, what happens is at runtime, Python tries to execute this. Integers are not callable. You can't do that. Well, how does it know? Well, certain things in Python are callable, and that's typically going to be functions and classes. So we actually have 3 callables, either functions or classes here. For most of this talk, I'm going to be talking about functions. For the end, we'll talk about classes as well. So where are these callables going to be? Well, first of all, we have the decorated function, right? That is our first callable, add. The second callable is the decorator itself. And the third callable, and here is where this thing gets a little weird. The third callable, which is really the most important one, is actually invisible here. It's the one that's returned for when I call myDeco on add. And that callable is the one assigned back to add. And so when I call add, I'm not really calling my original add. I'm calling whatever was returned by myDeco add, which then is going to sort of hopefully call the original add. So this is how we have to think about our decorators when we use them. But what about when we want to find them then? We're going to have to deal with these 3 callables. And so a very typical way to write our decorator is as a function inside of another function. So I have here myDeco, that's my decorator, is on the top level there, that's the function. And it's going to get a function, it's going to get our function here as an argument. The inside function here, which is often called wrapper, that's where a lot of magic is happening. That's what's going to actually be returned as we can see here. And notice that as a sort of function signature. It's getting splat r's and double splat kwr's. Why am I doing that? Because I want to be able to decorate any function at all. And this way I can get any level there, that's the function. And it's going to get a function, it's going to get output with these 3 callables. And so a very typical way to write our decorator is as a function inside of another function. So I have here myDeco, that's my decorator, is on the top level there, that's the function. And it's going to get a function, it's going to get our function here as an argument. The inside function here, which is often called wrapper, that's where a lot of the magic is happening. That's what's going to actually be returned as we can see here. And notice that has a funny sort of function signature. It's getting splat r's and double splat kwr's. Why am I doing that? Because I want to be able to decorate any function at all. And this way I can get any combination of arguments coming in. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to call the function to pass those along. So whatever I get as input, I'm going to pass along the output. Now this decorator is pretty boring. All it does is it takes any function whatsoever, it calls that function, sticks the result of the function into a string, and then adds 3 exclamation points afterwards. Okay, not the most exciting function in the world. So what's going on here? Let's once again talk about our 3 callables. We have our first callable, which is our decorated function. It becomes our argument. The second callable is our decorator that we are calling on it. And the third callable, that sort of mystery one at the end, that's wrapper. That's the internal function. Whatever is called a myDeco add, this function then returns and is assigned back to our original function name. And that's how the decorator sort of works. Here's another perspective on it. We can think about it in terms of time. We can say that at the beginning, when we decorate the function, this outside function is running. But the inside function runs once each time we run the function. So the outside one runs once only as setup time, and the inside one runs as many times as we need. That's pretty great. By the way, I should add, how is it that the internal function is having access to func? Func, after all, is a local variable in the external function. This is thanks to the magic of Python scoping, LEGB, local enclosing global built-ins. Basically what happens is that inside of wrapper, it looks for the name func. It says, is there a local variable func? There's not. So let's look in the enclosing function. Hey, well, you know, there's a local variable func there. Let's use that. So we have access to that external function inside of the internal function. Well, decorators are pretty cool then. That's pretty great. And you know, for a long time I thought they were cool, but I also thought they were sort of a solution looking for a problem. Like, okay, I can now twist my mind in all sorts of different ways, but really and truly, where would I want to use them? Well, it turns out they are actually useful. Shocking, right? They are actually useful. So here I want to give you about 5 different examples of decorators and how we can use them and how we can think about them. And I want you not only then to understand how decorators work and how we can write them, but sort of the perspective that decorators give us on how things work in Python. And you'll start to see more and more opportunities to use them as you sort of deepen your understanding. So a classic example to start with decorators is timing, right? So how long does it take a function to run? Well, I can do that in general, right? I can use time.time, get back the number of seconds since the 1st of January 1970. I can do that before I run the function. I can then run the function. Then I can run it again, run time.time. I can subtract the 2 numbers there and find out how long the function took to run. And indeed then, I can do that in my decorator. So here's my decorator. I've got my outside function, which I'm calling log time. It's going to take func as an argument. And my inside function, what's it going to do? Well, the important thing here is going to be start time equals time.time. Indeed then, I can do that in the sort of perspective that truly where would I want to use them? Well, it turns out they are actually useful. Shocking, right? They are actually useful. So here I want to give you about 5 different examples of decorators and how we can use them. Hey, well, you know, there's a local variable func there. Let's use that. So we have access to that external function inside of the internal function. Well, decorators are pretty cool then. That's pretty great. And you know, for a long time I thought they were cool, but I also thought they were sort of a solution looking for a problem. Like, okay, I can now twist my mind in all sorts of different ways, but really and truly, where would I want to be useful? So here I want to give you about 5 different examples of decorators and how we can use them and how we can think about them. And I want you not only then to understand how decorators work and how we can write them, but sort of the perspective that decorators give us on how things work in Python. And you'll start to see more and more opportunities to use them as you sort of deepen your understanding. And so a classic example to start with decorators is timing, right? So how long does it take a function to run? Well, I can do that in general, right? I can use time.time, get back the number of seconds since the 1st of January 1970. I can do that before I run the function. I can then run the function. Then I can run it again, run time.time. I can subtract the 2 numbers there and find out how long the function took to run. And indeed then, I can do that in my decorator. So here's my decorator. I've got my outside function, which I'm calling log time. It's going to take func as an argument. And my inside function, what's it going to do? Well, the important thing here is going to be start time equals time.time, right? So I'm going to time it. I'm then going to run the function. Notice I'm not doing anything to the function at all. It's running as per usual. I'm going to pass it all its arguments. It's going to return a result.
Times the asking price.
Welcome
I don't care
to
where here is.
Summer's Rift.
Just point me toward a treasure. "30 seconds until minions spawn.
I'm going to just put the result inside of the variable cleverly called result. And then afterwards, I'm going to find out how much time has elapsed. Then I'm going to write it to a file. I'm going to say, with opentiming.txt and add and remove their functionality functions by not touching the function itself, just by putting the decorator before it. So if I want to start timing a bunch of functions, I can just put @log time before their definitions. And when I'm done timing them, I can just remove them. I don't need to touch the functions themselves. They stay exactly the same. But what happens when I run my function slow add and slow mul a couple of times? This is the sort of result I'm going to get in the file. I'm going to find out what time each of the functions ran. I'm going to find out which function ran. I'm going to find out how long it ran for. And so I can add this sort of log. I'm going to call it once per minute. Very clever name, right? And I'm going to have func be its argument. And so we see here, once again, I have my decorator function. I have the decorator, and we're going to return it. Yeah, but what goes in the middle? Okay, that's left as an exercise to the reader. Okay, no. So basically, what are we going to do here? Well, think about it. Each time a function runs, it doesn't remember what happened in the previous
This is the terror that waddles in the night?
runs. That's sort of the whole point of the function. And it's not like in some languages where we have part of the obscenity. I'm going to put the time.
Paying attention. What are your weak spots again? No time to waste.
I can bear it.
Possession is 9/10 of the law. First 3 Zonite demon totems are mine fair and square.
Rest now. Don't miss.
If I don't know the rules, then how could I be breaking them?
Once it's a win, I can marvel at that! Relax. I blindly teleport long distances all the time. Can I get an itemized receipt? My accountant's way too good at his job. Little piece of advice. If no one tells you something's impossible, then it's still possible. So go do it.
An ally has been slain. Executed.
I rarely know what I'm looking for.
Ally has been slain.
Wasn't a miss. Near hit.
Has been slain. An ally has been slain. You have been slain.
I really hope nobody saw that. If anyone asks, I didn't see any of these priceless artifacts for sale.
The last invoke.
Hey there, Gauntlet.
time in the outer function, the one that runs just once. And it's going to set up this variable once. Then I'm going to say non-local. Now what does non-local do? It says to Python, listen, normally when you assign to a variable inside of a function, you're either creating or updating a local variable. Not this time. By saying non-local, we say, I want you to update, change the variable in the external, in the enclosing scope. So now what's happening is that each time I run wrapper, my internal function, it's going to say non-local last invoke, and then it's going to say, I'm going to update that external variable. I'm going to update that enclosing variable. And this way we're able to carry this information across different runs of our function. Pretty great. Okay, now I need that. I need non-local because this stuff is executing only once. We know that last invoke is only going to run once in our function, in our decorated function, whereas this stuff is going to be running again and again and again each time we run our function. And does this actually work? I sure hope so, because I put it on my slides. So we're going to say add 2 plus 2, and sure enough that's 4. That's really, mathematically not inclined. I'm giving you the answer here. But then if I say add a 3 and 3, well, I ran that too often, called too often, error, only 4 seconds have passed. Pretty great. Yeah, but who wants just once per minute? Let's generalize this to once per n. Now what I want to do is restrict people to run my function once per n seconds. So in order to understand what's going on here, we're going to have to go back to what happens with a decorator. So when I see this, at once per minute on def add a and b return a plus b, remember, we should be thinking this. Def add of a and b return a plus b are functions defined as per usual, but of course the rewrite means that on that last line, what we're going to be doing is taking the decorator name once per minute, applying it to add, and whatever we get back, we're going to put into add. So what happens when... when I add an argument to my decorator. Right now, I'm saying at 1 per n of 5, and then I do def add of a and b. So what do we need to be thinking? We need to be thinking, okay, I've got my function definition as before, and then I have this on the bottom line. Right, so what am I doing? I'm going to call once per n with an argument of 5. The result from that is then going to be applied to add. The result from that is then going to be assigned back to add. In other words, we have 4 callables running around here. Right, so what do we have? We have our original decorated function. We have our decorator once per n. We have the result from calling once per n on 5, because that's a callable. We can then invoke that on add, and then the result from 1 per n on 5 on add is assigned back to add. Well, that's great, but how are we going to actually implement this? That's right. A function in a function in a function. So, what's it going to look like? I'm going to have once per...
It's not grave robbing if you have a college degree, which I do. Not have a college degree.
An ally has been slain.
per n on the outside there. That's going to be my top level function. That's what's going to get my argument. I'm going to have a middle function, and that's going to get the actual function. You can think of the outer two functions as sort of splitting up the responsibilities of our original outer function before. And wrapper looks pretty much the same as before. In fact, we can see what we had before. We have last invoke equals 0. Non-local last invoke, because once again, we want to update that variable in closing scope. Right? So I'm doing basically the same thing as before. I just switch things around a little bit so that the outer function becomes 2 different functions. And why do I want to do that? Because I need to have the decorated function here, not at the outer level, but at the middle level. And then I want to have the decorating a local variable, not this time. By saying non-local, well, here's a skeleton of my decorator. I'm going to call it once per minute. Very clever name, right?
Sentinel
Shut down. You have slain an enemy.
Exploration runs in my family. It's in my blood. My death has been greatly exaggerated.
And I'm going to have func be its argument. And so we see here, once again, I have my decorated function. I have the decorator, and we're going to return it. Yeah, but what goes in the middle? Okay, that's left as an exercise for the reader. Okay, no. So basically, what are we going to do here? Well, think about it. Each time a function runs, it doesn't remember what happened in the previous runs. That's sort of the whole point of a function. And it's not like in some languages where we have, pardon the obscenity, static variables, where we would be able to carry these variables over from one run to another. So I can't really do that. Now, I could use a global variable, right, to keep track of this stuff. But then I feel super icky and have to shower each time I ran my code. So I really got to find some other better way to do this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use non-local. I'm going to put the time, the last invoke time, in the outer function, the one that runs just once. And it's going to set up this variable once. Then I'm going to say non-local. Now, what does non-local do? It says to Python, listen, normally when you assign to a variable inside of a function, you're either creating or updating a local variable. Not this time. By saying non-local, we say, I want you to update, change the variable in the... external in the enclosing scope. So now what's happening is that each time I run wrapper, my internal function, it's going to say non-local last invoke, and then it's going to say I'm going to update that external variable. I'm going to update that enclosing variable. And this way we're able to carry this information across different runs of our function. Pretty great. Okay, now I need that. I need non-local because this stuff is executing only once. We know that last invoke is only going to run once in our function, in our decorated function, whereas this stuff is going to be running again and again and again each time we run our function. And does this actually work? Sure. Oops, so we're going to say add 2 plus 2, and sure enough that's 4. That's really, mathematically fine. I'll give you the answer here. But then if I say add a 3 and 3, well, I ran that too often, called too often, error, only 4 seconds have passed. Pretty great. Yeah, but who wants just once per minute? Let's generalize this to once per n. Now what I want to do is restrict people to run my function once per n seconds. So in order to understand what's going on here, we're going to have to go back to what happens with the decorator. So when I see this, at once per minute on def add a and b returning plus b, remember, we should be thinking this. Def add a and b returning plus b, a function defined as per usual, but of course the rewrite means that on that last line, what we're going to be doing is taking the decorator name once per minute, applying it to add, and whatever we get back, we're going to put into add. So what happens when I add an argument to my decorator? Right now, I'm saying at 1 per n of 5, and then I do def add a and b. So what do we need to be thinking? We need to be thinking, okay, I got my function definition as before, and then I have this on the bottom line. Right, so what am I doing? I'm going to call once per n with an argument of 5. The result from that is then going to be applied to add. The result from that is then going to be assigned back to add. In other words, we have 4 callables running around here. Right, so what do we have? We have our original decorated function. We have our decorator once per n. We have the result from calling once per n on 5. So that's a callable. We can invoke that on add, and then the result of 1 per n on 5 on add is assigned back to add. Well, that's great, but how are we going to actually implement this? That's right. A function in a function in a function. So, what's it going to look like? I'm going to have once per n on the outside there. That's going to be my top level function. That's what's going to get my argument. I'm then going to have a middle function, and that's going to get the actual function. You can think of these outer 2 functions sort of splitting up the responsibilities of our original outer function before. And wrapper looks pretty much the same as before. In fact, we can see what we had before with last invoke equals 0. The non-local last invoke, because once again, we want to update that variable in closing scope. Right, so I'm doing basically the same thing as before. I just switch things around a little bit so that the outer function is the initial function. And why do I want to do that? Because I need to have the decorated function here, not at the outer level, but at the middle level. And then I want to have the decorator itself there to take the argument. And then I'm going to have the return values from each of my other functions. And the combination of the 4 different decorators here gives me exactly what I want. And we can think about this once again in terms of time. That this outer function, outermost function runs once when we get the argument. The second function executes once when we decorate the function. And once again, our wrapper, our middle function runs as many times as we want to invoke our function. And once we do this, well, does this work? Now I'm going to run it, right? Slow out of 2 and 2 and slow out of 3 and 3. And I put a limit there, I think it was 5 seconds. So now I'm going to get 4 once again. And now once again, I'm going to get an error because too little time has passed. But now that time is variable, so I can say this function can only run every minute. But that function can run every 2 minutes, and this function can run every 30 seconds, whatever I want. Okay, another example. Memoization, not memorization. That would be easy to spell and say. Instead, it's memoization, which is one of these things you learn about in computer science class and then forget, unless you're a nasty instructor like me. And memoization actually is not a new technique at all. I just looked it up to find out. It's more than 50 years old. And the idea is basically, if I have a function whose arguments always lead to the same value, always lead to the same result. So think of basic mathematical functions, adding and multiplying, dividing, all that. If I add 2 and 2, the next time I add 2 and 2, it better be 4 once again. It's not going to change on me unless it's big problems. So basically, wouldn't it be nice if every time I would take a look at my arguments, and if I've seen these arguments before for this function, just return the cache value from the previous time? Why run the function? Now, it's pretty stupid to do this for additional multiplication, I admit. But if you're something a little harder, a little longer, right? Even take like, SHA-1 or RSA or something like that, then you might want to actually do this sort of caching. So how are we going to do this? Well, I'm going to define memoize. That's going to be my decorator. It's going to take a function. And right up there at the top, I'm going to define a cache. How are we going to cache something in Python? I'm going to use a dictionary because we love dictionaries. We'll use them wherever we possibly can. So basically, what's going to happen here? I'm going to set up my cache to the dictionary. I'm then going to take a look at splat args. Well, args is defined with the tuple. And so I can say, hey, take a look at these arguments. Have we seen these arguments before? If not, let's run the function with all the arguments, take the results, stick it into our dictionary, and then I know, after running this if statement, no matter what, I have the result from this function. Fancy, huh? So now I can take the decorated function, I've got the decorator, I'm returning it back, everything's great. And indeed, if I want to think about it, right, in terms of my timing thing, this is running once, and this is running multiple times. You might be saying, wait a second, did you say we have to use non-local if we're accessing variables in the outer scope? And indeed, I can say that. Basically, if I'm assigning to the variable in the external scope, then I have to worry about it. But if I'm just saying cache square brackets, then I'm accessing the variable, I don't need to worry about it. So long as I'm not saying cache equals, I'm all set, I don't need to use non-local. So actually, this works pretty well. Let's take a look, just in case. So we'll memoize and add, and notice here that my add and multiply, all functions are going to say when they're running, right? They're going to declare the world. That's what we want to do when we add numbers, find out when we're adding numbers. Pretty clear operation. So now I'm going to say add a 3 and 7, multiply 7, and use those twice. So the first time, we're going to see then that when I add, look, memoize notices that I haven't gotten this back before, so I better run the function. Then I run the function, and then I get the result back. And then mul, once again, right, to do the same sort of thing, caching the new value, running mul. And now the second time I run add, it's going to say, wait, I already have that result. I'm not going to run the function at all. So just size up the function altogether. And the same thing for mul. And notice then, even though I have exactly the same arguments here, because it's separate functions, they have different decorators. So the decorators need to attach them separate from one another. I don't need to worry about them stepping on one another. That's pretty great, but some of you are probably saying, wait a second. What if ours contains a non-hackable value? And what about KWRs? You just ignored it. That's bringing feelings. KWRs does not take time to do that. So what should I do about that? Well, try. Or I can remember that we got pickle. And pickle gets me out of the pickle everywhere. Pickle basically says, I'm going to take a Python data structure, turn it into a string with a byte string. And byte strings are, of course, hashable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pickle args, I'm going to pickle KWRs, I'm going to stick them into a tuple, so I can stick them into a tuple, and then I'm going to use those as my cache key. So now I'm going to take args and KWRs, hash, put each of them in pickle, use that, and I'm going to say, hey, have you seen this before? And then every unique combination of args and KWRs is being cached, and then I can check for that, and then we'll always return the caching of the key. Last example, attributes. So attributes are, of course, what we have on all sorts of objects in Python, especially when we're dealing with classes and objects. So methods are attributes in a class, and every time we create an instance, we've done init, I'm going to set all sorts of data there. What if I want to have a whole bunch of different classes that have the same attribute, especially the same method? Well, you might say, oh, well, obviously then I should use inheritance. Yeah, but inheritance is only really appropriate when objects are similar, when the classes are similar to one another. If I have very distinct classes, if I still want them to have similar behavior, then it's not so easy. So I could do it with, right, with attributes, I could do it with inheritance, and I could even use multiple inheritance now. The only problem with multiple inheritance, as you know, there are two opinions about multiple inheritance. Some people think that it's terrible, and some people think it's the worst thing ever created on Earth. So no matter where you stand on this debate, I think we can sort of sidestep it and say, fine, let's just assume we're not going to use inheritance at all. How can I use a decorator to basically add this sort of thing? So here I have my wrapper, my data wrapper, and let's say one of the things I most love about data classes in Python 3.7 is that the wrapper is improved. Wrapper is like, well, not great. So here I'm going to define fancy wrapper, and it's going to return a string that says I'm a whatever type self with vars of var self. Fantastic. So how am I going to decorate my class then to get this? Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to define better wrapper of C. Okay, and so C is going to be a class. Notice now I'm decorating a class, but it's a callable, so who cares? Fine. So here's my class. Here's my decorator, and what am I going to have inside? Well, it's fine. Another wrapper equals fancy wrapper. I'm changing the method inside the class, right? And of course I'm going to return wrappers after return a callable. But you might be thinking, wait a second, these wrappers doing nothing. That's okay. Don't have to do nothing. Don't worry about them too much. So basically, I got wrapper here, and wrapper takes args and KWRs. All we do is pass along to the class. Okay, that's less than exercise to read. Okay, no. So basically, what are we going to do? That's for the internal function. It's going to say non-local left and both, and then where this stuff is going to be running again and again and again each time we run our function. And does this actually work? I hope so, because I put it on my slide. So we're going to say add 2 plus 2, and sure enough, that's 4. That's for the mathematically fine. I'm going to give you the answers here. But then if I
Who needs a map?
An ally has been slain.
say add a 3 and 3, well, I ran that. Too often, call too often error, only 4 seconds have passed. Pretty great. Yeah, but who wants just once per minute? Let's generalize this to once per n. Now what I want to do is restrict people to run my function once per n seconds. So in order to understand what's going on here, we're going to have to go back to what happens with the decorator. So when I see this, at once per minute on def add a and b return a plus b, remember, we should be thinking this. Def add of a and b return a plus b, our function is defined as per usual, but of course the rewrite means that on that last line, what we're going to be doing is taking the decorator name once per minute, applying add of a and b. So what do we need to be thinking? We need to be thinking, okay, I got my function definition as before, and then I have this on the bottom line. Right, so what am I doing? I'm going to call once per n with an argument of files running around here. Right, so what do we have? We have our original decorated function. We have our decorator once per n. We have the result from calling once per n on 5, because that's a callable. We can then invoke that on add, and then the result from once per n on 5 on add is assigned back to add. Well, that's great, but how are we going to actually implement this? That's right. A function in a function in a function. So what's this going to look like? I'm going to have once per n on the outside there. That's going to be my top level function. That's what's going to get my argument. I'm then going to have a middle function. That's going to get the actual function. You can think of these outer two functions as sort of splitting up the responsibilities of our original outer function before. And wrapper looks pretty much the same, right? So I'm doing basically the same thing as before. I've just switched things around a little bit. So we can 3. I can only run every memorization. Function can run every 2 minutes, and this function can run every 30. Instead, it's memoization, which is one of these things you learn about in computer science class and then forget, unless you're a nasty instructor like me. And this leads to the same on the unless we waste time. What you might want to actually do in Python, I'm going to use a dictionary because we love dictionaries. We'll use them wherever we possibly can. So basically, what's going to happen here? I'm going to set up my cache to be a dictionary. I'm then going to take a look at splat args. Well, args is defined to be a tuple, and so I can say, hey, take a look at these arguments. Have we seen these arguments before? If not, let's run the function with all the arguments, take the result, stick it into our dictionary, and then I know after running this if statement, no matter what, I right. Indeed, I did say that sort of kind of almost. Basically, if I'm assigning to the variable in the external scope and the enclosing scope, then I have to worry about it. But if I'm just saying cache square brace, so I'll do memoize of add, and notice here that my add and multiply mul functions are going to be set. I'm going to do each of those twice. Oh, back and null. So just side stuff separate from one another. KWRs, you just ignored it, and that's hurting its feelings, and KWRs does not take kindly to that. So what should I do about that? Well, I cry. Or I can remember KWRs, you just ignored it, and that's hurting its feelings, and KWRs does not take kindly to that. So what should I do about that? Well, I cry. Or I can remember that we've got pickle, and pickle gets me out of this pickle, as it were. Pickle basically says, I'm going to take a Python data structure and turn it into a string or into a byte string, and byte strings are, of course, hashable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pickle args, I'm going to pickle KWRs, I'm going to stick them into a tuple, because I can stick them into a tuple, and then I'm going to use those as my cache key. So now I'm going to take args and KWRs, cache, put each of them in pickle, use that, and I'm going to say, hey, have we seen this before? And then every unique combination of args and KWRs is being cached, and then I can check for that, and then we'll always return the caching of T. Last example, attributes. So attributes are, of course, what we have on all sorts of objects in Python, but especially data, but inheritance. So I could do it. I could do it with attributes. I could do it with inheritance. I think it's the worst to improve. So how am I going to decorate my class then to get this? Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to define better wrapper of C. Okay, and so C is going to be a class. Notice now I'm decorating a class, but it's a callable, so who cares? It's fine. So here I got my class. Here's my decorator, and what am I going to have inside? Well, I'm going to assign C under wrapper equals fancy wrapper. I'm changing the method inside the class. Great. And of course, I'm going to return wrappers after return a callable. But you might be thinking, wait a second, this wrapper is doing nothing. That's okay, there are lots of people who do nothing, and we don't complain about them too much. So basically, I got wrapper here, and wrapper takes args and KWRs, and all we do is pass along to the class and return a new object. Really, what I can do is just this. I can define better wrapper, it'll take the class, I'll just add the new method to it, and I'll just return the class, right? Nothing wrong with that. And indeed, that works just fine. Here's my decorated class, here's my decorator, here's my callable. I don't need a function there. And does this work? Yeah, this works great, right? Because now if I print f, what am I going to get? I'm a fool with vars x10 and y10, 20, 30. Fantastic. Well, that was great for setting a class attribute like a method here. Can we do that for instances, of course? Can we do that for object instances also? Of course we can. It's Python. We can do anything. The world is putty in our fingers. So basically what can I do? I'm going to give every object, every new instance, its own birthday. Everyone deserves a birthday, including objects. So when I use the object birthday decorator, I'm going to add a new attribute here to each and every instance. And it's just going to be the timestamp at which we created the object. So what's going to happen? Well, remember that a decorator every time I create a new instance of the class, right? So wrapper's going to run each time I have a new instance. And when we have a new instance, now I'm actually going to use that syntax that I had before. I'm going to call the class with args and KWRs and get a new object back. Then I'm going to stick a new attribute onto that object. What's it going to be? It's going to be created at time. And then I'm going to return the object. And here I have my decorated class, here I have my decorator, here I have what I'm returning. All is great. And indeed, if I run it now, if I have object birthday with class foo, print f, well now I've got my original wrapper. And print the birthday created at, fantastic, I've got the number of seconds since the 1st of January 1970. Let's do both. I'm going to define here a decorator that modifies the class to take a new method and modifies the object to get a new attribute. And here I'm modifying the class, and here I'm modifying the object. And I can do both inside of the same decorator because we think of these two different stages at which things run. So, decorators are pretty cool and pretty exciting. First of all, decorators, let's dry up our callables. Dry is this idea, don't repeat yourself. You don't want the same code to be happening more than once in your software. And I don't know about you, but on several occasions, okay, many occasions, too many occasions in my software career, I'd be like, I'm just going to copy this code. What are the chances that I'll have to modify it in both places down the road? I can tell you right now, 100%. There's a 100% chance you will end up modifying the code in both places. Don't do it. And so if I can take code out of multiple functions, multiple classes, that's the same, and put it into a decorator, I'll be saving myself time down the road. Also, understanding how callables work is really central to this, and it allows us to see how this all works together. Understanding how many callables are involved in our decorators, it lets us pick apart the decorator and say, I'm going to take advantage of this part versus this part versus this part, and really play with it in different ways. Decorators make it dramatically easier to do all sorts of different things. Basically, it lowers the bar to messing around with our functions and our objects in all sorts of different ways. And you could argue maybe that's a problem, right? But in Python, we like to give people opportunity to do things, and things that previously required all sorts of black magic, like meta classes, now we can just do with decorators that are much more understandable. And all this depends on the fact that in Python,
added at the one-time execution step are going to avoid any of the pitfalls of static variables. And I think a similar thing could be applied to multiple annotation versus multiple.
Between modifying attributes after they're created, modifying instances after they're created, versus wrapping functions on.
Interesting idea. I really had never thought about like the idea of decorating in it so that you don't have to add the attributes there.